that I want to talk about is the 40. Okay. Another guy who I watch was talking about the 40 Smith & Wesson, and he said the reason that the FBI chose the 40 Smith & Wesson was because they already hadn't chosen the 45 that existed, and they didn't want to admit they were wrong and should have chosen that from the beginning, which in fact is total bull crap. Okay, and the reason why is the FBI carried 38s, as did all the New York police, as did almost all cops, you know, since the 40s. I mean, they carried 38s, you know, for 40 plus years in law enforcement. It was the go-to round. They had the Miami shootout and they were shooting 38 plus Ps, and it wasn't stopping the assailant. He was just continually absorbing the bullets, and it kept going. So this was the wake-up call to the FBI that all of a sudden they're like, well, wow, crap. One determined person can just ignore these 38 bullets if they're not hitting them well and in an incredibly, you know, vital area. They can just keep going if they're determined enough. So what did they do? They tried out 9mm, and they liked 9mm. 9mm had good ballistics. They tried out the 45. They really liked the 45. The 45 had better ballistics than the 9 as far as going through objects and, you know, penetrating things. But they were in a quandary because they liked high capacity of the 9, but they liked the knockdown power and the force behind the 45. So what did they do? They couldn't decide between the two popular rounds. Well, one of the guys who worked there was a reloader, and he went and took 10mm rounds and downloaded the powder charge to slow it down to the same amount of force as the 45 roughly. They went in and shot them, and they fell in love with it. They said, okay, this is the perfect compromise. It's smaller than the 45 but larger than the 9. We can almost get the same number of rounds in a mag. And the main reason that they couldn't use the 45 is because at that time the 45 had to go in a large frame pistol, and their agents couldn't carry large framed weapons. They had to carry weapons they could conceal under their jackets. So they contacted Smith & Wesson, said, we want you to make us a 40 caliber round. By the way, the 40 caliber round has been around forever and a day. And we want it to go this velocity. We want it to be put in a short cartridge like the 9mm so that we can load it in double stack magazines and carry medium to small frame pistols with it. That was their specification. That was what they ordered. That was the reason for it. It's a custom built by the FBI ballistics lab compromise round that now pretty much all law enforcement uses, because it's a compromise round that was specifically designed to meet their sets of criteria. They had a certain set of criteria, and they created a bullet that met it. Does that mean it's the best bullet? Does that mean that's what I carry? I don't even own a 40. I've shot them, but I don't even own one because I don't have to compromise. I'm not in law enforcement. Okay, I can carry double stack big guns. I can carry small little single stack guns. I can carry whatever the heck I want. So I don't bother with the 40 because I like to carry the 9 or the 45. I just pick what day, which one I want to grab and carry. Sometimes I have them both around me. I don't know. It just depends on the day. But again, they were this individual had so much mythology and hearsay that he was speaking it as gospel when it actually had no validity in fact. It was just crap a bunch of cops made up to explain what was going on, because they didn't particularly care for the round one way or the other, understand why it was created. The other one that annoys the tar out of me is the 5.56 NATO, the M16 or M4 round. That was created because the Army wanted to wound people, wound the enemy, because if the enemy's wounded, then it takes 2 or 3 other guys to take care of that wounded guy. It isn't designed to kill people, and that's total bullcrap too. If you actually study, they took all different types of rounds, shot pigs, and did autopsies on the pigs. They discovered that the .223 did just as much damage as their 30 caliber rounds did when the bullet actually tumbled. So they went, holy crap, this little round is doing as good as these big ass rounds. Guess what? If it's doing just as good a job and it's got less recoil and we can load more of it in our magazines, why the hell would we stick with these big ass rounds? If it does just as much wound damage on average, that means when they shot a pig 30 times and they did the autopsy, it was just as torn up by the .223 as 30 rounds of .308 was. Why would they not go with the smaller round that was lighter to carry, that they carry more ammo of with less recoil? It had all the benefits. So again, a lot of people will sit here and say, no, that's not why they picked the .223. Yeah, read about it. They actually did testing before they carried the .223. Also, look at the fact that they've kept it around for 50 years and are still using it today. It has great effect on human beings. It's not a hunting cartridge, but human beings aren't big game animals. We are very small game in nature. It doesn't take a whole lot to tear us apart or to kill us. So again, the .223 is a great round for what it is. In fact, anyone who's like, oh, the AK-47 is great. Guess what? The Russians switched to the AK-74 and copied our .223 round slightly differently and went to almost the same size round. So anyone who's going to point out the AK-47, the only people who use the AK-47 are the damn people buying surplus crap, and they still make them for those guys because they're cheap and easy to make. But the actual Russian military don't use the AK-47s. They use the AK-74s now. So even they jumped on the bandwagon with us and went with the smaller size cartridge to have better effect and be able to carry more. So hope you got something out of this video. I know there's going to be lots of people who disagree and want to go with the guys who believe the myths of the gun industry that have been passed down from father to son and uncle to dumbass nephew or whatever. So anyway, you can research this yourself. You can watch some videos yourself and learn, or you can just go on believing whatever the hell you want to believe that you were told by someone who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. So hope you liked the video. Have a good one.